over how you maintain revenue for yourself and your clients, and how do you actually maintain a stable revenue, and how do you prevent a roller coaster from happening with your revenue, where your revenue and your Stripe account looks like this, where it's up and down. How do you have a consistent line? Something more like this, where it's pretty much averaged out. If you're already making money, this is a framework that's going to show you how do you actually maintain that revenue, how do you keep that stability and stay rich. Because guys, I understand, I've been there. It's not fun when your revenue looks like a roller coaster. You're bouncing up and down. You don't have any consistency in your life, in your lifestyle. You're kind of worried, are you going to be able to pay your employees? I've been through that myself and my clients, and that's never fun. But if you can maintain a stable revenue and just scale up from there, then you have that consistency and you're running a business that you can actually rely on. Here's a screenshot of how we maintain revenue for a client. We actually decreased ad spend by 25% in late December, and then we made the system leaner and maintained that revenue without having a huge down spike. As you can see, this screenshot was back from February. It's April now, so now we're actually scaling. And this is what we have instead of having our revenue look like this, like a roller coaster, which is what most creators, coaches, consultants' revenues look like on a monthly basis. It's unscalable and it's unsustainable, because you need to understand that if you're able to generate consistent lead flow, whether it's through ads or organic, every single month, you have an acquisition problem, not a lead flow problem. There's a difference between acquisition and lead gen. So let's define them real quick. Lead generation versus acquisition. Customer acquisition is the process of converting leads into paying customers. Leads, right? You're converting leads. And lead generation is the process of sparking and capturing interest in a product or service to build a sales pipeline. So lead generation is actually getting the attention. If you have a problem with getting attention, this isn't for you. If you have attention, but you're having problems converting that attention, this is how you convert that attention and do it predictably and consistently. So where do you actually start? You need to ask yourself, is your team and you showing up every single day? Are you guys showing up every day? If the answer is yes, which I hope it is, here's what you have to look at. You have to track every metric in your process. This is crucial. So to maintain a consistent revenue, you need to understand where are the bottlenecks in your business. I'm showing you this basically spreadsheet. This is a snippet from a spreadsheet of everything that we track, right? Every single metric that's tracked in this 200K per month business to make sure that we have that stability. And by the way, as you can see, this factors in ad spend. If your main funnel isn't run through ads, track your organic numbers, right? Track your organic reach numbers. You can do that with Meta. But as you can see, there's a lot of metrics we're tracking. We're making sure to track every single step in the process. We even track the lead quality. This is something that's tracked by the site. You need to have a point-based system where if you're running ads, you or your sales team need to have a way to measure that quality. And same with organic. You literally define what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, and what is 10, right? 10 is the best, 1 is the worst lead quality you can get. And you can measure this quality based off the conversations you're having or your sellers are having. And also the best way to measure them is from the discovery calls and from the sales calls. So as you can see, there's literally like 27, I believe, let me see. Does it say anywhere? 24 metrics that we're tracking, right? Very important to track every metric. I recently added a full-time phone setting team to a client setting process, and right away we had constraints pop up. How do you fix those constraints? By tracking them, right? So a new lead comes in from ads, organic, we get their information, phone setter calls, dials them, 45 seconds they're on the phone, dialing them, even if the lead doesn't pick up. This restricted them to only calling 40 leads per hour, right? This means if no one picks up, every lead's gonna be called for 45 seconds, double dial as you always should. That's gonna take too long. So the obvious answer here was to shorten that dial time. But instead of stopping there, I split tested a dial time of 25 seconds versus 35 seconds. Why? Because you need to understand every single change that you're making. If you run your business blind and you're not tracking things, how can you expect to be consistent? So now let's get into step 2, right? Number 2, once you spot the bottlenecks, delegate your processes. When you identify those bottlenecks in your business, what is actually preventing you from having that stability? What is preventing you from scaling? You need to hand those processes off to experts if you're able to financially, if you have the means to, because you have to understand, you as a person, you're not scalable. Your time isn't scalable. You can only do so much until it starts to take that negative effect where things are getting left behind or things are getting done late. And then if you think about the potential income loss that you have because of that wasted time, it always just makes sense to outsource and delegate those tasks. And I'm not saying to get scammed by an agency here. I mean, you need to build an internal process, get an internal team to replace you in the spots where you have the bottlenecks. But again, this goes back to you actually knowing where you have those bottlenecks in the business that are keeping your business unstable. So you need to track every single step, as we went over multiple times. And now when you delegate, now you can focus on the highest leverage tasks instead of jumping around from every department of your business, from sales to marketing, fulfillment, and trying to manage every chain. Instead, you're going to be focusing on what you actually need to focus on to have the highest output while having someone help you maintain a revenue in the department where there's a bottleneck and also help you scale that department in the process. So now let's actually get to scaling these departments and how it would work. So number one, let's start with sales, right? I forgot to cover these, so now you can click off the video. So with sales, using VAs plus automations like ManyChat and hiring a sales team. If you need to hire a sales team, I just made a entire video on how do you hire the A players in every market, how do you hire the best salespeople you can in the market. You can go check that out. When to hire, when do you actually hire, and when should you consider hiring out specific roles in your business? So number one, 0 to 10K per month. This is when you hire a VA. There's another video about this on my channel. 10 to 30K per month. This is when you get your first setter. 30 to 50K per month, first closer. 50K per month plus is really situational depending on what your business model is and what your infrastructure already looks like. Now, again, you're able to hire out these low leverage tasks because you as a person and your time isn't scalable, and you're able to focus on the tasks that actually matter and have the most leverage at scaling your business. Number two, how do you maintain that stable revenue and scale? Can at least 1% of your current ICP, right, your perfect avatar, afford your services if you charge 2.5 to 3K? If you charge high ticket, this could be over this as well, right? 3K plus. If it's a no, then you need to adjust to having a bigger total market, right? You need to go after a bigger market where 1% of your current ICP can afford your services if you do charge 2.5 to 3K. If you're in a market where there's just broke people, then it's going to be very, very hard to maintain a consistent revenue because you're just going to be dealing with broke people on the phone on sales calls all day. The other thing you can do here is open up more solutions to the current market you have and maybe introduce a low ticket offer, maybe have an upsell, a cross sell, so that you can have a higher lifetime value on your customers, which we're also going to get into, but also you can sell low ticket products to the market that can't afford your services to get them into your ecosystem, and from there you can upsell them. Now, here we have two yeses, right? If they can't afford this, then you need content consistency and consistent ad spend to have a consistent lead flow, right? This goes back to lead flow. So this means hiring a copywriter, outsourcing to an editor, hiring a media buyer, delegating these tasks that you cannot afford time to do. And if at this point you can't afford consistent ad spend, consider going back to that low ticket product and having a low ticket downsell that you can give to people to liquidate your ad. Now, I just went through two departments that you need to focus on and you need to gain leverage in to be able to scale and maintain that consistency in your revenue. Now, there's one more department that if you don't focus on, you won't be able to scale and you won't be able to maintain that revenue. But before we go into it and cover it, as you can see, this process just depends on you getting as much leverage in every single chain as possible, where it's not completely based on your time. And right now, if you're in a position where you're operating every single chain in the process, what happens is you have split focus and you don't actually have any laser focus on any of the departments. So they kind of all operate at like 33%, right? You're splitting your focus between all departments. So this is why you gain leverage. Now let's move into the third step, third department, third chain, whatever you want to call it. And that's fulfillment. Are you running a scalable model in the first place? Are you doing done for you or done with you? If you're doing complete done for you, you should move towards done with you, unless you're doing done for you for another reason, right? But if you're not, with done with you, you can have more scalability, you can have higher leverage, obviously, because you have more people. And if it's done right, you can actually have a lower churn rate on your customers and your clients. With done with you, you can have a huge community where each person motivates itself, and then it becomes a self-sustaining model where it's not completely dependent on you. It's like everyone in that community, all of your clients, they become leaders, right? They lead that community. There's no weird hierarchy where everyone's going to you specifically for help. They're still going to you for help, but they're also able to motivate each other. Once you figure this out, knowing what you know now with marketing and sales, consider if you need to hire another coach to maintain client success. And so with that, you're able to take on more clients without your churn rate increasing. You need to be able to scale your sales and marketing while retaining the same results, right? Your results can't go down as you increase sales and marketing. This is again why you should consider changing your entire model as you scale, because your results need to stay scaled. If you have a client overload, you just need to hire more coaches to help you with that fulfillment. And now you won't have to rush to put out client complaint files. With this entire process, to have a consistent revenue month after month, every process needs to be consistent and systematic, right? It's all about consistency in all the three departments of your business means consistency in your business overall. And now that your business isn't burning, your house isn't burning on the front end, you can focus on the back end and creating an MRR for your business on the back end, right, with upsells. So you sell your clients on the back end to increase your lifetime value. This is also what creates consistency, because if you have someone enroll in April and you usually upsell your clients onto the back end product, let's say 2 months in, now you're going to have consistent revenue from that in June. By the way, this is another reason why you need to scale your fulfillment process. So you need to have a perfect client experience so that they do want to buy that upsell and keep working with you when you have that upsell 2, 3, 4 months in. How do you actually do this? How do you upsell your clients? Number one, you give clients a survey or check-in call 4 to 8 weeks into the program to find what they are still struggling with, or if there's any struggles they came up. Some clients, they're going to be very, very successful and they're not going to have any struggles anymore. But 80 to 90% of your clients, they're going to stay strong. Usually there's just more things that they want to do. There's new goals that they set. Let's say someone loses this much weight and they came onto your program to lose this much weight. Now they want to lose even more weight. So they're going to stay with you. Or let's say they lost the weight, but now they want to gain muscle, right? So they're going to stay with you, and that's a new problem that comes up for them. And that's a problem that you can upsell them on. So with upsells, they can be sold for a multiplier of their initial cost, right? You can have the upsell 2, 3, 4, 5 times more than what that person paid initially. Because again, if you have a good product, then there's going to be nothing stopping them from investing into themselves again to work with you to get another win, right? If they already won with you once, they're going to want to keep winning. And if they see you as a bridge to that solution and the bridge to getting that win, they're going to pay you money. The other thing you can do here is cross sells, so solutions related to the solution they are buying. These don't necessarily need to be higher ticket than the original program that you sell them on. These could be lower ticket, these could be mid ticket. So it's like if someone buys a weight loss program, 1 month in, they lose weight and now want to build muscle. So you cross sell them onto a muscle building course. So the last thing you can do here is downsells. Let's say you're selling to realtors and a few weeks in, they're going through a coaching program and now they're ready to start. You can downsell them onto a software, right? It can be your own software, it could be a white labeled software. And it's best if downsells are recurring because then you kind of make a higher, you have a higher lifetime value from that downsell. Guys, as you can see, this is the entire process. It's very simple and it relies on you being consistent and actually systemizing every single department in your business. Guys, when you do feel like your business is unscalable because of you and you feel like you become the bottleneck and you just can't handle everything and you need help scaling your operations, sales, marketing, fulfillment, book a call with me below. Now, if you want any of the resources here in the video, the flowchart, the video is going to be in the description, but if you want the flowchart or the tracking sheet like this, click the link to join our school below and the resources will be emailed to your email. All right,